Hey, please subscribe. Thank you.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, the notorious RB Jesus, the most relevant, the most requested, and the most revolutionary scholar orator on the planet Earth, the only black scholar alive to be invited to speak on every single continent and the Caribbean multiple times this century, the greatest Pan-Africanist since the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the greatest black school psychologist in American history, the #1 most requested guest lecturer in university history. Brothers and sisters, we already dealt with the fact that they gutted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. We already dealt with the fact that this coup d'etat of the black vote was planned 25 years ago. We already dealt with the fact that the Democrats and the Republicans are happy that they no longer have to worry about black voter power. We already dealt with the fact that at least half of the Supreme Court justices were appointed by 2 presidents who were not elected by the people, George Bush and Donald Trump. We already dealt with the fact that George Bush spent the first 8 years of the 21st century gentrifying predominantly black inner cities to reduce black control of elections in the inner city. The gentrification movement was not only about taking back the inner city in terms of real estate, it was about taking back the black vote and giving it to white people in the inner city. Let me say that again. George Bush's gentrification plan was not just about real estate. It was about white people taking back the voting power from blacks in the inner cities. We dealt with that. We dealt with the fact that Barack Obama was given to black people as a conciliatory prize because our entire history in America is that of taking 1 step forward and 2 steps backward. Our entire history in America is about taking 1 step forward and 2 steps backward. So they gave black people Barack Obama as the grand finale of concessions to the Negro community. Let me say that again. They gave Barack Obama to the black community for 8 years as a sign and a symbol that this is the last thing we're doing for you, and we won't be doing anything else for black people ever. So y'all going to take these 8 years of Barack Obama, and y'all can celebrate, y'all can meditate, y'all can congregate, y'all can do whatever y'all want. But once Obama's gone, we will never again do anything for blacks. So they gave you Obama to give you the illusion of inclusion. They gave you Obama to give you the illusion of inclusion. They gave you Barack to let you have your last party before they put us back in Jim Crow. Barack Obama was the grand finale of federal action on behalf of black people. I don't know if you all know this. We've had 10 presidents since Dr. King's assassination, not counting Lyndon Baines Johnson. We've had 10 presidents since Dr. King's assassination, not including Lyndon Baines Johnson. There was Nixon. There was Ford. There was Reagan. There was Carter. There was Bush. There was Clinton. There was Bush. There was Obama. There was Trump. There was Biden. There was Trump again. 10 presidents since Dr. King, not including Lyndon Baines Johnson. And guess what? Of those 10 presidents, 4 were Democrats. Carter, Clinton, Obama, and Biden. Of those 4 Democratic presidents, of the 10 presidents America has had since Dr. King's assassination, 2 of them were Southern Democrats: Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter. Actually, 3 of them were Southern Democrats, if you include Joe Biden, because technically Delaware was considered a Southern state. Yes, Delaware stood with Abraham Lincoln, but Abraham Lincoln allowed Delaware to keep her slaves. Technically, Delaware is the South. So Biden, a Southern Democrat, Clinton, a Southern Democrat, Jimmy Carter, a Southern Democrat. Of the 10 presidents since Dr. King, only 1 was a Northern Democrat: Barack Obama. The point that I'm making is that even though you had 4 Democratic presidents out of 10 since Dr. King's assassination, most of them were either Republicans or Southern Democrats with Republican values. Let me say that again. Even though you've had 10 presidents since Dr. King's assassination, all of them were either Republicans or Southern Democrats with Republican values. We call them Dixiecrats. Joe Biden, a Dixiecrat. Bill Clinton, a Dixiecrat. Jimmy Carter, a Dixiecrat. The only one who don't fit the mold was Hussein Obama. But Hussein Obama was put in the White House to make black people think you have arrived. Hussein Obama was put in the White House to make black people think you have arrived. I come on here tonight, brothers and sisters. Look it up. You don't know what a Dixiecrat is? Look it up. Did you have social studies class? Did you even go to high school? Anyway, I digress. I digress. I've come on here tonight, brothers and sisters. I come on here tonight to say you need to do 2 things, and you need to do it soon. I come on here tonight to say you need to do 2 things, and you need to do it soon. I come on here tonight to say you need to do 2 things, and you need to do it soon. Number 1, get your passport. Please get your passport. Get a passport for your husband. Get a passport for your wife. Get a passport for your son. Get a passport for your daughter. Get a passport for your elders. Get a passport for your toddlers. Get a passport for everyone in your family. Black people, listen to me. Get your passport. Things are getting crazy, and they're getting crazy quick in this country. Get your passport and make sure everyone in your family has one in case. We have to evacuate under emergency circumstances. Make sure, Alafia, Baba, I haven't forgotten you, Baba. I will definitely reach out. Alafia. Make sure you have a alternative African country or island in mind that you and your family will escape to in event of an emergency. Make sure you have identified an African country or a Central or South American country or a Caribbean island that is ruled by Africans that you and your family can escape to. I don't care if it's Jamaica. I don't care if it's Nigeria. I don't care if it's Bermuda. I don't care if it's Ghana. I don't care if it's Costa Rica. I don't care if it's Ethiopia. I don't care if it's Panama. I don't care if it's the Congo. But you had better identify your adoptive home in case the American African community has to evacuate under emergency circumstances. Now, for my FBA and ADOS brothers and sisters, I'm a black freedman, but I don't identify with those organizations. I want to know, what is the FBA ADOS plan to help black people as a result of the Supreme Court decision? And if martial law comes to this country and comes to the black community, because you Negroes been running around. You Negroes been running around talking about you haven't left nothing in Africa. You've been running around telling people you have more in common with white Americans than black Africans. You've been running around acting like black immigrants were the worst problem you have. What do you have to say now? What does FBA and ADOS have to say now that the Supreme Court has gutted the Voting Rights Act? That they can now legally break up any black voting district in America, making the black vote almost irrelevant. What is your plan to help our people? Because black immigrants had nothing to do with what the Supreme Court did. There are no African immigrants on the Supreme Court. There's no Caribbean African immigrants on the Supreme Court. There's no Canadian African immigrants on the Supreme Court. There's no Central American African immigrants on the Supreme Court. There's no South American African immigrants on the Supreme Court. There's no continental Africans on the Supreme Court. There's no Canadian Africans, no British African, no Australian African immigrants on the Supreme Court. So you can't blame the black immigrants for what just happened. But because you have more in common with white Americans than black Africans, I need to know.
So now, Dr. Umar Johnson is back in the headlines after delivering another explosive live stream that has social media completely divided. During the rant, Umar claimed that black Americans are being pushed backward politically and warned his followers to immediately get passports and prepare emergency escape plans in case conditions in America get worse. He argued that both Democrats and Republicans have failed black communities, accused past presidents of using symbolism instead of real progress, and even described Barack Obama's presidency as the illusion of inclusion. Umar also called out groups like FBA, demanding answers about what their real plan is after recent Supreme Court decisions affecting voting rights. While supporters are praising him for telling uncomfortable truths, critics online are accusing him of spreading fear, paranoia, and political misinformation. Either way, the internet is once again locked into another massive Dr. Umar debate, and people cannot stop talking about it.